Okay, have you ever been watching a movie, totally into it, and then suddenly realize the English you're hearing sounds, well, nothing like the English from your textbook? If you've ever felt that way, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and uncover the secret behind why native speakers seem to break grammar rules all the time. Let's get into it.
Right, you know the deal. You spend all this time memorizing these super strict rules in class. Things like never end a sentence with a preposition or always use whom after this. You work so hard to get it all perfect.
Then you step out into the real world. You turn on a TV show, you overhear a conversation, or you chat with a friend who's a native speaker, and poof, it's like all those rules just vanished into thin air.
And that, right there, is the big secret. Native speakers break those rules constantly. And you know what the craziest part is? It sounds totally normal. In fact, it sounds right when they do it.
So seriously, don't panic. This does not mean your English is bad. Not at all. It actually means you're ready to get to the next level of fluency. We're about to dig into why these so-called broken rules are actually the secret ingredient to sounding more natural. Let's start with that feeling, let's call it the grammar panic. It's that moment of confusion when you realize the English you hear day to day just doesn't line up with what you learned. It can honestly feel like maybe you were taught the wrong thing. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You put in the work, you learn the structures. So why does everyday spoken English sometimes feel like it's a completely different language? Well, the answer is actually a lot simpler than you think.
Okay, so let's break this down. The key is to stop thinking of English as just one thing. It's way more helpful to think about it in two different modes. You've got textbook English and you've got spoken English. So on one side, you have textbook English. Its number one goal is to be formally correct. It's perfect for things like academic essays or business reports. But then you have spoken English, and its goals are totally different. It's all about being fast, clear, and most importantly, creating a friendly connection.
And this is a really important idea. In a real conversation, you're not trying to pass a test. You're trying to share an idea, tell a joke, or just connect with another person. And for that to happen, the language needs to be a little more flexible. It prioritizes that human connection over being perfectly correct.
So what does this actually sound like? Let's dive into a couple of super common broken rules that I guarantee you've heard a million times.
All right, first up, a true classic. So many of us were taught that you should never, ever, under any circumstances, end a sentence with a preposition like with, on, or about.
But then you hear this everywhere, right? Who are you going to the party with? It sounds totally fine. In fact, it sounds a lot more than fine. It sounds natural and friendly.
See, the strict textbook rule would make you say something like, with whom are you going to the party? And I mean, yeah, technically it's correct, but it also sounds incredibly formal, almost like a robot talking. The broken version just sounds like a real person.
Okay, here's another one you'll know instantly. Let's talk about reductions. This is where a phrase like going to seems to, well, it almost magically shrinks in conversation. Nobody, and I mean nobody, in a casual chat carefully says, "What are you going to do this weekend?" Nope. We just squish it all together and say, "What are you going to do this weekend?" Or even shorter, "What you going to do?" Now, this isn't lazy. Not at all. It's efficient. Reductions like gonna, wanna, and gotta are like shortcuts that help our speech flow smoothly. It's the difference between walking down a set of stairs, one block at a time, versus just taking a smooth slide down. It connects everything together.
So here's the really crucial part. Why do these so-called mistakes actually sound better in a real conversation? What's the hidden logic here?
Well, it's because there's a secret priority list for spoken English. At the very top, number 1 is clarity. Can you understand me? Right below that, at number 2, is connection. Do I sound friendly and relaxed? And then way down at the bottom of the list, you have formal rules. They only really matter in specific, formal situations.
Think about it like this. You wouldn't wear a fancy tuxedo to go to the beach, would you? Of course not. It's totally the wrong outfit for the situation. In the same way, using super rigid textbook grammar in a casual chat is just using the wrong tool for the job. It's all about matching your style to the context. So, what do we do with all this? How can this new understanding actually help you? Let's talk about how this can totally change the way you listen to and learn English from this moment on.
This right here is the biggest mindset shift you can make.
From now on, when you hear a native speaker say gonna or end a sentence with with, don't flag it in your brain as an error. Instead, see it for what it is, a pattern of natural spoken English. You're not hearing mistakes, you're hearing fluency in action.
So, to wrap it all up, what are the big takeaways? First, these broken rules are totally normal, even expected in spoken English. Second, they're not mistakes. They are actually signs of natural, comfortable speech. And finally, once you understand the why, you can listen with so much more confidence and so much less confusion.
So, the next time you're watching a movie or listening to a podcast, keep your ears open. Because now that you're in on the secret, what mistake are you excited to hear next? Happy listening!